Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today I'm going to show you how you can use your Xbox adaptive controller on your PlayStation 4. And the reason this video is different than the one I did about a year or so ago is because in this version here I'm going to show you how you can do the setup to include Copilot. Copilot is where you use two controllers as one player. This will give you a much wider range of games to play if you've suffered an injury or if you've got limited mobility. Quick example, here you've got the DualShock 4 controller working as normal, but look, without changing anything up on screen, you can see now that the Xbox adaptive controller is also working. Yeah, so they're working as the same player, and I've just got some plugs into the back here, just a makeshift job, and if I go into that, you can see it goes in, and then I can go out of it again, hold down this button here, and then it's the same as the PlayStation button. So you can see all these things here are working as player one, which is going to be useful because, for example, you might want to hold this with your left hand, and then you can use this with your feet, or you might have other switches and joysticks coming out of here that you can use with your chin, elbow, etc. So the reason I'm doing this video is I was contacted by a rehabilitations engineer in America working at a veteran hospital, and he said, was it possible to do Copilot using the Xbox adaptive controller with either the DualShock 4 or the Xbox One controller on the PlayStation 4. So because I am a man of many adapters, yes, I swapped loads of things around until I got a combination that worked. This is just a small pile of what I was working on earlier on. So it's taken quite a while, but I found a setup now which seems to be working reliably. Now, there might be other ways of doing this, there might be far better ways of doing this. Also, you might get all this equipment, and because none of this is supported, then it all might stop working the next day. So what we need is, obviously, adaptive controller here, we need a CronusMax Plus, and we need a Magic-NS adapter. These are just rough UK prices, around about £50, around about £20. Last time I looked at these, I think they were £80 here. Now, what makes it annoying is that the PlayStation has a feature where it will disconnect non-standard controllers after about 8 or 9 minutes. So we have to plug in a spare, not the one over there, we have to plug in a spare controller as a security measure so it doesn't keep disconnecting after 8 or 9 minutes. So we plug the CronusMax into a spare USB port. We don't have to program it, which is good, that's just on 0 there. We then just need a USB 2 hub. So that's just a very cheap hub. I got that from the pound shop, so nothing fancy. And out of port number 4 here, we've got it going into the DualShock 4 controller via a USB cable. That's going to give us our security feature there. If I was to turn this on here, you can see it will actually go to player 2, but that's no good. We don't want to use this one. This one's purely going to be for security. So you have to have a spare controller as well. Out of this, we then have the Magic-NS adapter. This is what allows the Copilot. So this one here is the thing that allows the adaptive controller to work on the PlayStation, but this one here is what allows us to plug in two controllers as player one. Now I've got it set to the green mode, which is X input. There's all different modes you can do, but I'll show you how to set that up in a minute. Basically, you just have to hold this button down here until you go through the different modes. Then out of this one, we've got a wired cable which comes with the Xbox adaptive controller that goes into it. Now, annoyingly, I can't get this to work wirelessly. It will work wirelessly on the Xbox, but not when it comes to connecting up to that Magic-NS adapter. So basically, that's that. And then this is connected wirelessly, not to the console, but to the Magic-NS adapter here. So that's how it's all working. It's all working through the Magic-NS adapter, which goes through the CronusMax into the PlayStation, and it is working fine. If you look there, you can see we're going left and right here, and then if we grab this here, you can see we're going right and left there. And I've already showed you these ones here where we can enter in, go out again, hold down home, go up and down to what we want, and then exit it there. Okay, so now remember, with this you can program this on your PC or your Windows 10 PC or your Xbox. So at the moment, by default, this is A and this is B, but you can actually set this up to have the buttons exactly how you want them. So for example, you might want this one to be R2 and this one to be L2 if you were doing like a racing game. Yes, they're going to be digital instead of analog, but still, depending on the game, that might be okay for you. At this moment in time, everything is just default. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn it all off, and then I'm going to show that it works just by turning it on. And then I'm going to unplug everything, and this time let's set it up with the Xbox controller so you get an idea. So look, if I hold this down here, you can see it goes up here, and then I can move this up, down to power, move across, go to turn off, and let's press A. Okay, and now let's just turn off, and then to turn it on we have to use the console. We won't be able to turn it on by pressing the buttons here, but remember we've fully turned it off. It's not in standby mode or anything now. But if we turn it on here now, you will see that these will automatically liven up again. Right, so you can see it's gone to there, and watch this now. I haven't touched anything or reset anything. Press A, and you can see we're back in here now. Okay, and now let's get this controller here. You can see it's currently off, so let's turn it on. And it should sync up with the Magic-NS adapter, which it has done. Right, okay, so that's that. Now let's completely disconnect it and let's set it up again. So first things first, we're going to plug in the CronusMax into here. Now, we have to get this on the green mode, so I've purposely now put this on a different mode. You can sometimes do it via here, but it can be a bit fussy sometimes when it goes through here. It doesn't always connect first time. So to get the mode right, let's just plug it straight into here. At the moment it just says AU on here. That just means it's waiting for authorization from a controller here. Now if we were to just set it up like this, it would work. The problem is it's going to disconnect every 8 minutes. Hence the reason we have to use this here. So I'm going to hold down this little button on the side, and then it will scroll through the different colors. So we're on red, now let go, we're on purple. We need to go back to green, which is X input. There we go, green. Now what we're going to do is we're going to sync up this controller to this one here. So we're going to turn on this here, and we're going to hit down the sync button here, and we're just going to tap this little button at the side here. So the button I'm pressing is just this little button here. So tap this and you can see it goes to fast, and now look at these two. After a few minutes or 30 seconds or so, it will sync up. There we go, it's now synced up, and if you look up here, this will be working. But the problem is, like I keep saying, it's going to disconnect after 8 minutes, which is a pain. Right, so we've done the hard bit now. All we have to do now is unplug this from here. We're going to plug the USB hub into here. We're going to get our controller. We're going to plug it into our USB wire there. We're going to plug it into port 4, and we're going to plug it into this one here. Okay, and now that should, if we hit that button there, there you go, it's connected up, but can you see it's connected up as player 2. So we're going to hit circle just to get rid of that. Yeah. And now we're going to just leave that as it is. We're now going to plug this back into here. It's going to remember that it was on a green mode. You can see there. And now we're going to plug in our Xbox adaptive controller into here. And now this will be working. Yeah. And now all we have to do is turn on this controller. Well, there you go, it's already synced up already. If not, just turn on your controller and it will already be synced up. And now by doing it here, you've now got around the fact that it's going to disconnect every 8 or 9 minutes, and you can use your Xbox adaptive controller and this both as player 1. Then of course you can plug in your controls into whatever ports you want at the back here, and remember you can plug joysticks in here and here. So once you've actually got it set up, it is actually quite straightforward, and it does appear to be working quite well. Now if you want the easiest way to set this up, then this little fella here is the ideal thing to buy. So this is a Titan 2 adapter, not the 1 version, so not this one here, but the Titan 2 version. Now with this we can use a PlayStation 4 controller and the Xbox adaptive controller as copilot with nothing else. The only problem is this can be quite hard to get hold of, but let me show you how it works. So what we have to do is, we've got our DualShock 4 controller working normally. We're going to have to go up to settings, and we're going to have to make it connect via USB. So go down to where it says devices and press X, and then go down to where it says controllers, press X, and then go down. You see communication method. At the moment it says use Bluetooth. Well, we're going to change that, and we're going to say use USB cable. Yeah, and now if we come out of that, we can now set up the Titan 2 adapter. So all we're going to be doing is plugging it into a spare USB port here. Again, I haven't got it programmed whatsoever. I'm then going to get the adaptive controller, and I'm going to plug it into the port on the left hand side. So we're plugging it in to this port here. Then we're going to get a USB cable to micro USB, so in other words the charging cable from your DualShock 4 controller, and then we're going to be plugging that one into here. like that. And what that will allow then is it will allow us to use the DualShock 4 controller and the Xbox adaptive controller at the same time. So this is your copilot here. And you can see now if I want to go into store, I can press B and then I can come out of it by pressing circle here, or I can press X here and come out of it by pressing B here. So you see again, combination of both of them working together. Now this by far is the easiest setup to do, but I like to show you different ways of doing things because it might give you more ideas of how to do things in the future yourself, maybe with other equipment. Remember, there might be many different ways of doing this, but with this setup here you can see how simple and easy it is. So yeah, that is it for this video. Hopefully you might have found it helpful. Hopefully you might have found it slightly entertaining. So if you did, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe for more how-to videos and trying to fix videos in the future. Take care. Bye now.